Everybody, I'm very excited to be here now with Kathy. We're joined to discuss a little bit more about what's happening in July and how we're putting together conscious business leaders, really focusing on a retreat in Ibiza and bringing people from all different kind of spaces, places, markets together in one place on a beautiful island that I used to call home. Well, it's still really home in my heart, Ibiza. And Kathy, welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah. Eric, why did we choose Ibiza? You've lived there. Why do you think that's the best place for our retreat?
Well, so there's a lot of history in Ibiza, and the Phoenicians actually settled there. They created a lot of great integration there in terms of developing the water, really the way that they built a lot of their agriculture for the land development and how the rain would then also um, support the agriculture and the permaculture and what it would do to then bring water to the food and the regeneration is a really beautiful place because it's got a lot of hills. So there's a lot that can be learned from the land. And even more importantly than that, it's the third most magnetic place in the world. So it really comes from our level of intelligence at a higher level of awareness, where things come to us there. They show up in a space of grace and gratitude. And there's a lot of intelligence on the land, which is also one of the greatest things part of like life is we learn so much from the land. A lot of us think that we're just learning from each other, but we're actually learning so much more from Mother Earth herself, which is a great teacher.
Definitely. And especially when it comes to business relations, we sometimes do, well, a lot of times we do this mistake that we've tried to look for solutions and creative thinking in front of a laptop. And that's, I think, one of the main reasons we choose Ibiza for a lot of nature, land, peace, and calmness, that actually your brain is calming down and finding right solutions or creative thinking. That's where creative thinking starts in peace and yeah, very beautiful nature, very magical place, and yeah, that's why we choose Ibiza.
Yeah, and honestly, I have to say, like, I spent almost 2 years living there. I've gotten to know the community there, and there's going to be a lot of great co-creators that come there to support and help us integrate a lot more of a meaningful experience, whether it's art, culture, dance, expression, breathwork, yoga, and that is a big part of really tapping into this inner being, this inner knowing, this inner creative potential that in business oftentimes may not be taken for for its face value. We're thinking by the mind, by the mind, by the mind, when sometimes in these environments we're not actually recognizing the creativity that it takes to really cultivate an empowering organization and amplify the intelligence of our employees, our executive teams, and how we move as a team in towards a shared purpose.
What do you think was one of the main benefits what we are going to offer in our retreat in July in Ibiza when people are gonna come to our retreat? They're gonna spend 5 days with us. Yeah, it's gonna be 5 days. What do they learn attending this retreat?
Yeah, well, I think that this retreat is it's not I think. I know that this retreat is for everybody. It's like it's our retreat. It's everyone's retreat. And I think that that's the biggest thing is we learn not only from each other. Yes, we are putting it on, we're curating it, we're manifesting it, we're putting all the pieces together. However, there is so much learned behavior from having a group together that can learn from each other. And so there's an essence of curiosity that's being cultivated as a result of saying, hey, this person has a different experience. And by holding a space where everybody feels like they can be safe, they can be authentic, they can be vulnerable, and they can learn from other great leaders that are doing big things in their environment or leading differently with their teams or facing challenges in a unique way, it gives unique ideologies or experiences that then can be implemented by somebody else at a different marketplace or in a different part of the world, and it's like it opens our greatness up to each other.
Yeah, definitely. For me, one of the main reasons to offering this retreat is actually having or sharing this opportunity that people come there, they liberate themselves from stress, pressure, maybe sometimes anxiety as well. When you lead a very big company or you lead a team, you have this pressure all the time, and you gotta feel very calm and yeah, renewed after this retreat as well. And with all the very inspiring people we're gonna have there, we can share their experience, what they have in different companies all over the world, probably coming from USA, Canada, Germany, or other countries in Europe. But it's basically to be very clear after this retreat what kind of business steps and actions you can take in a very mindful and conscious way.
Stepping into that, right, and choosing to step into that in a intentional way is something that I find a lot of us get to do, and I'm excited because that's really the why. That's the why, is how are we redefining the art of business is about stepping into the business world with intention. As we know, the experience of life is really changing, and some of the things that we have been taught to believe are not necessarily true. And so it's important for us to really tap into each other's awareness, each other's truth, each other's integrity, to then create a even more empowering experience for the next generation.
Maybe let's step a little bit into our program what we have been planned. So we're going to spend 5 days together, starting with an amazing opening ceremony where everybody is get to know each other, sharing their story, who they are, where they're coming from, what they bring to the table, if they're leading a team, entrepreneur, maybe it could be just a corporate manager as well. And then we're starting with this opening ceremony. Then the first day actually is going to be the cognitive awareness in your business, wealth, and relationships, because everything is going to be aligned together. It's not going to be just about business, but it's also going to be about wealth, relationships, your private life. Because as we know, as entrepreneur, it's very hard sometimes to distinguish what's private and what's business, especially when you're creator as well. It's all coming together most of the time. The second day, we're going to focus on, we said, recognizing the power of emotional intelligence and communication. A very important thing. Communication with yourself, starting with yourself, but also communicate with your team and as a leader. And the third day, or the fourth is going to be the fourth, actually integrating the whole things what we're going to learn in the workshop, in the mindful business workshop, integrating this in physical embodiment. And that's why we say we're going to use breath work, yoga, and different activities, especially wellness activities, to get into your subconscious mind and to integrate everything what we've learned before and embody it. Because at the end of the day, you can learn a lot, but if you don't embody it, if you don't feel it, it's not useful anymore. It's just in your brain. And yeah, and then actually the one of the last days is going to be a closing ceremony. Probably we're going to have some surprise then prepared as well. Let's see how the energy is in the group, but I'm very excited. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be very magical. Yeah.
Well, and what I love about this breakdown, it really comes down to those 3 stages of mastery. And that first day is that cognitive awareness, that second day is that emotional, and that third day is that physical, or the integration of all 3 to one, which becomes kind of like tapping in to the mind, to the heart, and to the gut brain, and really bringing them into alignment with what we can also call the 3 dantians if you want, or chakras, but really focusing on integrating and aligning all of that so that you can move with that space of devotion, that space of integrity, that space of alignment, so that there is nothing outside of this world that can shake you. right?
Yeah.
As leaders, this unshakability is so important. And when we can actually move forward like that in any environment, people feel us, they know us, they get to be part of that. And I'm excited because by really helping all of us align to this integrity, alignment to a bigger purpose and to a devotion that's greater than ourselves, and then implementing that within our organizations, now we get to move like a community, right? It becomes a
Yeah.
bigger, more meaningful movement for us as a collective. And so I'm excited to tap into that even deeper so that we can integrate way more of playfulness into the workforce.
Amazing. Eric, can you explain a little bit what have you done with entrepreneurs so far? Who did you work with together? You've been trained for very famous people as well. What did you learn?
Yeah, so I don't share this often because it is something that I guess is thank you for asking. So yeah, Tony Robbins has been a huge teacher of mine. He spent a lot of time with me. I've spent a lot of time very listening to him, and this has been a gift for me because success leaves clues, as Tony always says.
Yeah.
And the further that we go down the rabbit hole, the more we start to understand that we are built upon the shoulders of giants. And Tony has learned from Jim Rohn, and as that kind of
Oh, he's amazing.
ladder continues to go up,
Yeah.
we all start to understand that there's a level of intelligence that is building us up on each other. And so it's like you look back even at Napoleon Hill, learning from Andrew Carnegie and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm trying to share here, or really, is that the greatest leaders are readers. And if we start to learn from each other, we can start to stand on each other's shoulders and apply these principles, because it's one thing talking about it and there's another thing in application. And as Aristotle has always said, it's not about the knowledge, it's about the implementation of knowledge that really makes that power come to life. And so Tony has really embodied that in early stages in my experience, and I've been grateful to be able to learn from this man. And I still learn from him every day. I'm reading lots of his books, rereading them, and we all should, because there's a level of integration that most people think that is very perhaps from like it's at face value. But if you go deeper, you start to understand that a lot of the stuff that Tony teaches is like deeper, more spiritual, more integrated intelligence that is because of reading. So if more of us start to read, we start to learn all of that. And applying that to different communities and businesses and leaders has been a great gift of mine, because I've gotten to work with some really intentional people that have focused on delivering value, or foundations that are really bridging the pattern of how are we taking this knowledge and then integrating that into our future generations. And I've had the blessing of mentoring youth and supporting them as they build their meaningful future, because it's really about giving back more than you ever expect to receive, which is the ultimate golden rule, is do unto others as you would like to have done unto yourself. And so with that, we get to step up as leaders. We get to step up. With that, we get to change the nature of the dynamic within businesses. And with that, we get to then, as a result, meet with people at a different level of awareness, because what most people are missing is the access. And that's the thing that has given me the opportunity, the biggest opportunity, by learning from Tony and being close to him. Proximity is always power. So it's given me access to other individuals in the world that I've gotten to learn from, and then now apply a lot of these principles into business with a spiritual intention. Because after my spiritual awakening, I really came back to the business world with intention, with focus, and with a devotion that it just it's unshakable. And I'm certain that a lot of people now, they look at me or they feel me and they're like, wow, where is it coming from? I don't know where this energy is coming from, but it's coming from grace. It's coming from a devotion. It's coming from a place of service that I know is not my own. It's just me, the vessel, right?
Already a lot of energy. I feel this energy already here in Spain. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, so it's great. I do have so many pictures in my head right now how this retreat is going to look like, because I'm visualizing this already a lot of times. But one of the main reasons I observe, and I've worked with a lot of corporate companies together, especially here in Germany with Danone, Alpro, and I used to be trained for very successful sales and marketing managers who worked also in big corporate companies, English companies actually, Reckitt Benckiser, GlaxoSmithKline. What I observed along the way with every single CEO or entrepreneur is a lot of them, they struggle with overthinking. A lot of people, they struggle with pressure, with anxiety, with leading other people, and they just learn to lead as a top-down method, meaning just telling other people what they should do, but not transforming those people, not giving them the opportunity or the platform to be transformed and really motivating them. So actually, the entrepreneurs I work together right now, I really have the intention to empower them to stop hustle and push things into a hole where it's not able to grow anymore. It's more about, you can lead with your intuition as well. You can lead with being mindful, being conscious, and you can lead even and transform your whole team into a new whole world, which I discover is in the corporate world not yet done yet. And there might be, as you just said, the access to your inner world is very hard to find for a lot of people. And when I talk about this, especially with busy CEOs, and I tell them I do meditate for 45 minutes, then most of the time they look at me, how do you do this? How can you calm down your mind for such a long time? And why are you doing this? And then we talk about what's actually going on in your brain when you're relaxed and when you're in the state of mind that you're connected to your subconscious and your intuition, you're able to activate your creative thinking. You're able to activate your solution thinking, which you've never done before. That's why you said as well, we choose a place with nature, calmness, and peace to give this opportunity to very calm down and look for opportunities never done before. And I think that's what a leader definitely is going to learn. And as you said as well, we teach them how to access to this inner world and to implement this as well after the retreat and embody this as well in the business and the corporate world. Yeah.
I really find that this is about implementation. So like, you know, sometimes you'll go to places where people will just talk at you. And for us, this is really about immersing yourself in action. And I find that that is the ultimate way of experiencing life, is fully, you know, a belief becomes a poor substitute for an experience. Once you have an experience, it's who you are, it's who you step into. And so this is our joy in delivering this, is getting to help you step into that true identity, that true passion, that true nature that you can show up in any environment, whether it's at business or at home or, you know, with your friends or wherever you go, because from that place, you're going to accept yourself, but also attract even more opportunities into your world. And that's the greatest gift, because then you become a magnet of wealth and opportunities and abundance, and it just starts to come through you, because you are the wealth, you are the abundance. And that's what I'm excited to really help people define and understand, because this is the greatest integration time of what we're here meant for, to really cultivate. So come join us, come spend the time with us. You know, if you need anything, please reach out to us. We have a lot of you know, experience to have the conversation. And if you know, have more questions, feel free.
Amazing.
Anything to add?
Thank you. I don't think so. Well, we have our great landing page ready as well. A lot of information is on there too. We explain everything about our program, about the benefits, what you guys gonna learn there as well. But I'm happy to share anything else, and yeah, I'm excited.
Check out balancemedia.ventures